Chase is pissed at Gary, and he says that Gary can suck his dick, which is, wow. And to Chase, I would say, Chase, I know that it wasn't, he says I didn't do it on purpose. And it's like, I know that you didn't do it on purpose, but, I mean, sometimes accidents are accidents. I mean, look at Caitlyn Jenner.
Huh?
Caitlyn mauled 2 undocumented immigrants, I think, with her giant SUV.
Also,
sorry about that, babe. Welcome aboard another brand spanking new episode of another Below Deck podcast. I am Dylan. That is Pat. What is up, bitch?
Oh, it's so good to be here. Permission to come aboard.
Sorry I called you bitch.
That's okay.
All right. Penny's dogs are barking. What's her name?
Well, we probably shouldn't say her name. My neighbor's dogs.
Well, yeah, fans of the show. All right.
Oh, what
We've got hot fire talk going on right now. These dogs, these vagrant dogs are so distracting.
The audience can't hear.
Okay. Fans know very well your war with your neighbor. Anyways, lots of fun stuff. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Traders.
We're watching Traders and recapping it.
How good?
I love it. And a lot
it's so good.
Yeah, for people that have heard of it, I don't know if we can convince them to cross that threshold of the $5 tier on
I'll do it very
Patreon.com.
easily.
All right.
Walk into a store. Let's call it let's say Barnes & Noble.
Barnes & Noble.
Walk into Barnes & Noble.
They still have those.
Oh, yeah. Walk into Barnes & Noble, say I got a paper cut, I'm going to sue everybody. But I'll settle for $5.
Nice.
Take that, go to patreon.com/another podcast network, and hear our recap of the Traders.
Bring a buddy in there with you.
Yeah.
And when you're holding your finger to that poor sap behind the counter, have a buddy go, this place is filled with things that can kill people.
I'm going to sue too, but I'll settle for $5. And then your buddy, I mean, you can have a conversation with him or her. You don't have to forcibly give you the $5, but maybe you can ask. Maybe you can get 2 months of Traders recap. What we're trying to say is that $5 isn't that much, you fucking broke piece of shit. No, I'm kidding.
No.
The times are tight for a lot of different people, and I welcome frugality in my life. It's one of my greatest weaknesses. I have none of it.
Yeah.
So, it's the best show ever. We're recapping it at Patreon.
With Ruby, and we're having a lot of fun. And you know what? Why don't you jump in and just enjoy what everybody else is talking about, all the cool kids.
In terms of my Mount Rushmore of game show hosts, Alex Trebek, TJ Lavin, Jeff Probst, Alan Cumming.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that.
I mean, what's better? You know?
All right. So what other
Drew Carey? You kidding me?
Oh, he's horrible. Phones it in every episode.
Steve Harvey's got to be up there, too.
No one else.
All right. We got to get rid of one of them. I'll work it out later.
All
Patrick.
Right. Yes. Before we get into the show, and by the way, oh boy, this is all so all wrapped up into one little cake here.
Patrick's very upset.
I'm not upset. I actually don't really care. But it needs to be addressed. So last week, you and I came back off our vacations. God forbid, we took 2 weeks off, not watching television shows and coming in here and recording. God forbid. I've been doing this with Dylan for 7 years.
A long time.
We've never taken 2 straight weeks off. God forbid.
Okay.
But we did. And it wasn't our fault, because this needs to be addressed. This is important stuff.
Does it need to be addressed?
Bravo dropped an episode of Below Deck during the holiday season. And I guess it was a very important episode to a lot of people.
Can I tell you something?
Yes.
It was a Christmas miracle that we missed that episode, because there was no winning there. Thank God in the heavens above. I mean, the people in the Facebook, I'm not in there. I was banned for hate speech, but the people in that Facebook group my wife showed me. She said there's been an issue in here, and I just have to say to those people who are upset that we missed an episode, we love your fandom, and you're also a lunatic.
I'm glad
we appreciate your passion.
All
Also, you're out of your mind.
So a lot of people that are in a Facebook group, we didn't watch an episode, and we took a vacation.
Yeah.
And a listener that I think actually likes us, because sometimes you don't know.
That's the thing. I think they like us.
Posted, I'm going to leave out names, said this was the, what do you call it, the title or whatever?
Not sure.
I
was banned for hate speech. I'm not even sure how the platform works, but I do know that the man who heads it up is taking fact checkers off now. So maybe I'll be welcomed back into the fold.
I think he's doing community notes. Okay. This person, who I think is a barnacle at heart,
said, to get water.
38 minutes for 2 controversial episodes. Come on. Pretty pissed off. And I was thinking, well, that's not going to get any traction, right? Oh, was I wrong? Another barnacle quickly chimed in. Yeah, I was waiting for someone to say something. I actually noticed there's been a serious drop in the length over the past year. With commercials, their episodes are like 20 minutes of content. That's absurd. Actually, you writing about this is absurd.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Anyway, I jumped in to say, hey, we do 6 episodes a week.
Yeah.
Leave us alone.
Right.
There was a lot of responses back. I don't like to get in the mud with you, barnacles.
Right.
We're back. Shut the fuck up. God forbid. Again, imagine taking 2 weeks off for the first time in years at something.
Okay, will you shut up for a second?
All right.
Okay. I'm on another show called Conspiracy Social Club, which the audience is mostly right-wing male lunatics who are largely anti-Semitic. So I've spent the last year really sharpening myself against the hatred of strangers. But Patty doesn't have...
No.
Didn't go through that gauntlet. So
no, people love Patty.
When you say mean things about it, it really hurts his feelings. But I gotta say, Pat, you're gonna have to,
I gotta get tough skin.
Tough it out, okay? Because there are kookaburras everywhere, and we love the kookaburras and the people who are saying and pay us $5 Patreon.com/.
Also, does this count as nonsensical talk?
Yeah. All right. We love the fans. They're the only reason we can do the show. And we are here to do the show because we love Below Deck. Sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Tonight.
Yeah.
Was one of those times that I loved the show. I thought it was a great episode. I'd give it like, how many pots? I'd probably give it like 16 pots. It was a good show.
You like the episode?
Yeah. Daisy at one point says, seeing Gary's self-destructive behavior is very, very painful.
Yeah.
And as they were holding hands, it was kind of like a fox and the hound kind of sad moment, right? And I was thinking, like, Romeo and Juliet is a tragedy, right? But it's about royals. This is 2 sea rats, one of whom is a filthy drunk. So it really doesn't move the needle for me that much. But it was an interesting thing to witness. There was heart there. We have shackles dropping. We have Lola being hated. We have Glenn rip shit pissed. I mean, it was just a great episode.
Call him G-Spot.
Yeah. Daffodil is... I don't even think he's a human being. I really don't. I think he's piloting those drones.
He might be.
16 pots.
Okay. My favorite part of the episode is the cliffhanger. I like when the fourth wall is broken down. Gary and G-Spot, Captain Glenn, going at it. The fact that Gary, because, I always say the drunk person says what the sober person is thinking or feeling.
Yeah.
The night where Gary was drunk, smoking a cig, talking to Keith, and Captain Glenn came out, and he was like, that guy, he really disappointed me there, or something to that effect.
Yeah. No. He said a lot of loss.
I lost respect for him. Okay,
but not for Glenn. G-Spot lost it for Gary. Gary was acknowledging that G-Spot lost respect for him.
See, look at me. I'm drinking too much. I had thought that was Gary saying that about
Well,
me.
I don't think you're drinking too much. I think you just had a boo-boo.
Oh, I had a boo-boo.
And everybody has boo-boos.
That's okay. I'm going to forgive myself right
Yeah.
now.
Karen Bass had a couple boo-boos this week.
All right. No politics. I like the episode. I could not figure out why. Look, Lola is very obnoxious, but that's a drag queen. And so I didn't understand what all the infighting was. I wish they would have gotten more into that.
Trixie and Katya aren't obnoxious. I think Lola just sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Then again, we don't know these people.
No, we don't. That being said, I enjoyed the episode. How many more of these do you think we got? I'm kind
About
of
40?
I'm ready to move on, I think.
Probably about 40, I think.
All right, I'll give it 40 knots.
All right, so last we left off, we were dealing with a AA battery issue. Listen, this is, man, what is the word I want to use?
Smoke show?
No, I want to use a word. This is silly, right? We are low on batteries, and we're trying to smoke out beef. And Lola is absolutely furious with the time between dishes.
Well, she went to take a shit.
Yeah. She comes back up, and the smoke has been revealed. And one of the charter guests just doesn't get smoke, right? So Chase has to let him down. But Lola comes up, and she says, "Took so goddamn long. I was downstairs while you were doing it." I think that's a perfect Lola impression. I don't like people like this. There's no need to be rude to people. Okay.
Well, she's a queen.
Yeah. But I mean,
It's in the name.
even when people do rude things out in public, you got to approach it like hey, can you help me out here? You just pissed all over the seat, right? Let's be adults here.
Or how about this? Someone dressing down somebody.
It's gross.
But here's the thing about human beings. Can anybody not, like, all of us at some point have dressed down somebody? I guess it's how you feel about it later and the frequency in which you engage in that type of horrible behavior.
Yeah.
Everyone has a bad moment where they let someone have it.
Yeah, man. When I dress down, it is not good. It is ugly, and I feel gross after. But I've done it very, very seldomly. So Daisy says, "Great job" to Cloyce because they do enjoy the dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Lola has to mention that the cheese ball sucked, but Lola's a queen.
Question, did they ever get to him serving that lemon cake? Because he feeds Captain Glenn that
No,
later.
he probably served it, and they didn't show it.
Interesting.
Now, Daisy says, "Great job." And Cloyce says, "The alternative ends my career and possibly my life." Cloyce, nothing in the life of a sea rat should drive you to suicide. Even tragic accidents. I mean, hot-ass Captain Jason drove a goddamn yacht into a giant waterside building.
People were running away.
Killing.
It was like Godzilla showing up to the shore.
It was
they were
like
screaming.
It was like Godzilla planted a big old dino foot right there. He claimed the lives of dozens of innocents, and he didn't kill himself. So, I think let's not joke around like that, okay? Now, one of the people at the tables,
the drags.
One of the drag. Well, I don't think he was drag. I think he was just gay and fabulous. But he said, "You want to settle down with a slut, right? Because they're experienced, they know what they're doing," and many other things he rattled off.
Yeah.
Now, I would say,
I have lots of thoughts on that.
Man or woman, I don't think. You have lots of thoughts. Why don't you go ahead?
Okay, and I've learned a lot from the great hip-hop star, Ice-T.
Right.
He's also starring in his 18th season of Law & Order.
1800th, but who's counting?
Yeah. But back in the day when he was a pimp, he laid this down for guys to kind of figure out how to chart their life out. Yeah. He basically said a man needs 3 women in his life. Okay, and here's the hierarchy.
Okay.
You have your main bitch.
All right.
Okay.
You're also known as your wife.
Right. That's right. Yeah. You live in a house with her,
Right.
kind of.
You raised a family with her.
That's right. You have children with her,
Right.
and then you got your side bitch.
Uh-huh.
Okay, your side bitch is who you basically talk shit about your fucking wife.
Your best friend.
It's your best friend. It's who you can, like talk.
Right,
and then you have your hoe or your slut.
Right.
Okay. Now, don't come at me for this.
Right.
Ice-T laid this down. Now, the slut is what?
Can I really quickly
Yeah.
explain how this usually goes, right? Your wife or your main bitch is the person that you raise a family with and you get through a lot of life
That's
with,
right.
right? And then you have that best buddy who you bang
Your
away.
side hoe.
And you and the side hoe kind of figure, well, we're having so much fun. Why don't we just take this to the next level? And usually you divorce the main bitch, the wife, and you get with the best buddy. Now that will end in complete ruin, likely because that hoe is still sneaking around. And that's the one that is really the anchor. So you have to kill that person. And because of that, you go to prison. It's not a good dynamic to have.
Well, but we got to still address the slut, though. Because that's the one you do the weird stuff with, like asking her if she'll take a dump on your stomach.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can't do that with your main hoe. You have children with her.
No.
Anyway, so what I'm saying is, whoever that drag queen that
I don't know why you had to go fecal with it. I mean,
well, because you do the crazy stuff.
It's disgusting to think.
No, you got to get weird with the sluts.
Okay. All right. And you know this because you were a former slut.
No. I am a fan of hip hop and Ice-T.
Well, just in your life, though, you were a slut.
I was a slut, yeah.
You were a total slut.
I was a slut.
And I think back in the wild and wacky days of Slutty Patty, you would not have been a suitable partner for anybody.
No.
See, because
Can't
here's the
trust
thing.
us.
Here's the thing about, and maybe we've stayed too long on this already, but here's the thing about sluts. They're addicts, right? And there are varying, there's a gradient to addiction, right? Like Doritos doesn't sound that bad, but we've all seen the reality shows. You don't want to have an emergency crew cut a wall out for you to go outside, right? Sluts are addicted to love and sex, and that's not great. So, just lock it down, everybody. Do whatever makes you happy.
Let me tell you something. Being married is really boring, but
Can we get to the next thing?
oh yeah.
Okay. It's a meanwhile.
Meanwhile,
Danny hates Daisy. Glenn
right.
tells the queens that they're going clubbing tomorrow, which was insane. I don't know why these people insist on bringing the Sea Rats out. Outside of like a zoo exhibit kind of thing, like look at the poor people dance kind of thing. I don't get why.
Oh, come
Aren't
on.
you guys all friends?
No, Dylan. This is the fourth wall. Why don't you want Gary to come out? You've been watching him on Bravo for 4 years.
Oh, right.
Right?
They're stars.
They're stars. That's right.
Marilyn Manson is full, and everyone hits the sheets.
Oh, yeah.
Danny and Chase have a little flirting, a little ass slap, and we hit the bed. Now, next morning.
Next morning. Oh, yeah. Next
Did
morning.
we miss something?
No.
Do you want to go back?
No.
All right. Very ominously quiet. We get to breakfast. It's biscuits and gravy with great bacon. And yes.
Yeah. One of the queens announces that he literally put this on a sheet, and he followed that up with, and I also put something else on my sheets. Oh, I wonder what you're suggesting. The queens have to stop.
Come.
That's right.
I'm going to come. So, we get to the red-faced. Nope. Daffodil says something about being dishes for 7 days. Couldn't understand him for a fucking second.
Dylan and I watched the episode together. I yelled at the television, I need subtitles.
Yeah,
no clue.
There's, when you, it's kind of crazy. Like, he talked for probably like 3 or 4 seconds. And it felt like every second was a new lap. And I was always behind. I was just like, I am so lost right now. I have no idea what's going on.
I'm telling you, I like him so much, but as just a human being, but casting him, what a colossal misstep.
Well, if you're going to cast him, you got to utilize him, right?
That's my point.
So he's not been utilized enough.
He's got to utilize himself. What do you think they're going to hit him in with cattle prods and say, "Hey, be more entertaining"?
Yeah. Well, he's got to bang somebody, right? I mean, You got to bang somebody.
Or you just got to be more in the mix.
Now let's get to red-faced Gare Bear and jealousy. He's not too happy with Daisy and the priest. This guy is, I mean, he is kind of sad. I don't want to say it's a tragic character because I think like defined like in the context of the Greeks, I think you have to fall from a great height in order for it to be a tragedy, which this doesn't fit that.
Once again, I have theories here. Okay, so coming off Gary being accused of being sexually assaulting a producer or whatever, and then he ends up on this boat and they're filming.
Sure.
He knows I can't go after a female co-worker other than Daisy.
I think you're giving him way too much credit.
I'm telling you, why isn't he
made out with Danny in the beginning of the season?
He did because he couldn't help. Oh, I did it again. He couldn't help himself. Oh, I did it again. Gary, why you do this? You do it every time.
And that's a perfect Gary.
So he's basically the only person that he can hook up with is Daisy, and she's already found another sea rat.
It's about control issues, sweetheart. Now, Gary and Chase go at each other over this shackle. Now, Gary is a little bit much, right? He's helicopter parenting a bit. But it's because Chase is handling the shackle directly over the water. Now, I don't know if it's commonplace to bring it onto the boat and do it.
Well, you need it on the boat because you're going to hook it up to a shackle is essentially a hook.
But the drag point, right? Like the connection point, it probably shouldn't be directly over the water. Chase does drop it.
Here's an example of something in service. Anybody that's ever worked in the service industry, while you're doing something that takes a certain amount of concentration, the worst thing that someone can do is stand hovering over you and talk to you as a fucking distraction.
Yeah, it's like that time we had to cut those wires to save everybody's lives.
That's right.
And I apologize for that.
It's almost like Gary was trying to sabotage him. And then Gary also, once the shackle is lost in Davy Jones's locker. Gary announces, that's the only one we had. Sure, yeah. A $4 piece of equipment connector. Sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They find another one.
Very quickly.
Yeah. And Chase is pissed at Gary. And he says that Gary can suck his dick, which is, wow. And to Chase, I would say, Chase, I know that it wasn't, he says I didn't do it on purpose. And it's like, I know that you didn't do it on purpose, but I mean, sometimes accidents are accidents. I mean, look at Caitlyn Jenner.
Oh.
Just have it a day, baby. Oh, pulls out on PCH and slaughters two people. She didn't mean to do that, but she's still, it's bad.
I think only one person died. The weirdest part of that tragedy.
The other person can't be doing well for forever.
The weirdest
some kind
part,
of limp or something.
So one person died and another person was like very injured. When they did the investigation, whatever the report, the two people he hit didn't have driver's licenses.
Yeah.
How's that work?
Yeah, and it's a she.
Huh?
Caitlyn mauled two undocumented immigrants, I think, with her giant SUV. Sorry about that, babe.
Also, there was weight behind that SUV. She had just gone out ATVing.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah, I saw the 48 hours on it.
Wow, there's a 48 hours on it. It makes sense, she's very famous. What I'm trying to say is that accidents happen, and sometimes they're really bad. Like O.J. Simpson decapitating Nicole Brown Simpson with a trowel.
Well, don't forget that other guy. I feel bad for him.
Me too.
Imagine having your head cut off.
Yeah.
All you were doing was returning sunglasses, and you're basically forgotten in history.
Yeah. Just the other head. Now that is a tragedy. Wow. What a story that was at that time.
I never heard of it.
The juice chopping someone's head off.
Two people's heads.
I did it again. Completely erased him from history. And he was decapitated. I mean, think about that. if you're going to get your head cut off by a crazed celebrity with a gardening tool, you at least want to be remembered. That's very painful. So, meanwhile,
I was thinking if Ron Goldman was like a big fan of USC.
yeah.
Hey, OJ.
Yeah. Wham.
Going to hell for that one. Meanwhile,
He was just like stunned by us how athletic he actually was in person while it was going on. I couldn't have gotten out of that if I tried. He's a fucking running back. All right. Meanwhile, we fight about who's going to the club and who doesn't get to go.
now this is Daisy making this decision.
Deanna, can I be transparent? Deanna's so beautiful. She has pretty privilege with me. I can't look at it objectively.
Can I tell you something though?
But they're both such little twerps.
Okay. All right, wild tangent.
Yeah.
Her and Jessica Alba stand in the same place for me. They are wonderful to look at, but they are completely asexual looking.
Right.
You know what I mean? They
Yeah.
they don't exude any sexuality at all.
Oh, cool. Yeah. No, everybody has those. My wife doesn't have that with Aaron Taylor Johnson. She's actually quite sexually attracted to him.
She admits that, huh?
Yeah, and it's like this thing where, like, you know, I feel like maybe it's in my head, but I feel like my wife gets a lot more leeway with voicing sexual attraction. It's ridiculous.
My wife will I'm like, I don't get to fucking do that.
No, we do not. But yeah, there's this thing with Aaron Taylor Johnson who's just a hilariously bad actor. I mean, he's just
you know what? When he was a kid in those kids killing people movies, what was the first one that he was in?
Savages.
No, where they're like Nicolas Cage was his dad in like the second one. They made two of them.
Matchstick Man.
No. Are you fucking with me right now?
A little bit, but I haven't the faintest idea what you're talking about.
Wasn't he in that movie where he dressed up like a superhero and hung out with another girl?
Oh, Kick-Ass.
Kick-Ass!
Yeah.
You didn't know he was a horrible actor.
Right.
Until you saw him in Godzilla.
No, he was great in Kick-Ass. I think I haven't seen those movies. I don't like kitsch.
Very kitsch.
Your wife? I think that's right. So Cece's my darling Cece, who is so pregnant, and it makes me so happy. She's so mean though.
Yeah, they get mean.
It's but it makes me so happy. Even when she's so mean, it makes me so happy. But Aaron Taylor Johnson is dating I believe jealous women would refer to her as an old hag.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and she's probably like in her 40s or something.
Oh.
But the online stan community for Aaron Taylor Johnson refers to her as Meemaw, right? So you know what? Do your own deep dives. Go see Kraken. Okay, we got a show to talk about.
Oh, that's right. I don't want to tangent too much because it's been labeled as nonsensical.
Okay, all right. Okay. So, speaking of, so we do water toys. Gary gives Daisy a back massage. Get out of here with that. But speaking of couples in love, couples that you really, I've been with my wife 15 years. How long have you been with your darling Shuri?
13. 13.
Okay. Daisy and Keith, I think, can do that. I really do believe in their love. Now, they're C-rats, so there's going to be a major impediment there. But I can see them 80 years young, 6 grandkids, on a porch next to each other, just filled with bile and hatred for one another.
Yeah,
but they make it to the end. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know. Fast forward to later on the episode when he transformed into Miss Queef.
Yeah.
He shook his ass a little too convincingly.
He shook his ass well, and he was also acting like he was on Quaaludes. Like he was drunk before he even started drinking. We'll get to that whole thing. But yeah, we could also have I could see him whipping a bottle across the room. You know what I mean? Okay, so Daisy tells Danny and Deanna that they're not going clubbing, and Danny refers to herself as Cinderella. She's not happy about this at all. Chef Cloyce is going to work, bitch, and tonight's going to be a big dinner. We do a very weird VO about how to blend. That was just one of those ChatGPT producer moments. And then the guys get ready, and we get to the show.
The drag show.
Yeah, the drag show. And once again, it's important to remind the audience that Daffodil's not on the show. Now, the drag names are awful.
Not well thought out.
Not well thought out. We have Princess Laquifa. We have...
I miss Queefs.
Well, they haven't gone anywhere. Davadiva is up next. He has a stroke with a hula hoop. Garalina Queen comes out. That's Gary. Chastity Thunder is better. And then the finale is Captain Glenn G-Spot. Safe to say the worst of the queens.
I agree. Didn't even try.
Didn't even try.
Sachet.
Pull that dick out.
Do something.
Now, Jason has a very funny moment.
That's the porn director.
Oh, really?
He wants to know if Captain Glenn's pubes match the drapes. Now, let's remind the audience for porn director Jason, if you want to look at some of his work, here are some of his notable works. Nutting Hill. The Free My Willie.
There's a...
Die Hard On.
Right. Spiderweb Man.
Wet Dreams May Come. Now, that one's sad because that's about suicide.
If you build it, they will come. If that one's about suicide?
Shaw Wank Redemption.
Okay. All right. Any more? Star Horse.
I know who you did last summer.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't kill you. I fucked you. Yeah.
Any more?
Inspector Gadget.
Oh, that's like a...
Yeah.
That's like a We Too Low kind of thing. Yeah.
Jason, he has quite the scope of work. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Died Hard. That's the same.
Die Hard On.
Die Hard On. Got it. Mm-hmm. And if you have any, jump in the comments. Let us know. Let's leave a little bit more space for some more dead air really quickly.
Yeah. Because that's where we live in that space. That's where we feel most comfortable.
Yeah.
You want to talk about dinner?
Yeah.
Got to hit that 40-minute mark.
Oh, Patrick.
Oh, no.
Let's get to dinner. First course is salad. Now, I love to kick things off with a salad, especially at a steak dinner.
Oh, yes.
I love starting out with a wedge.
Oh, right after the bread basket.
Yep. Have a little bread. Hopefully it's sourdough baked in house, old starter. Then you get into, whether it's a house salad, Caesar, wedge. It's a great way to start a meal. But I didn't think that bitch Lola was going to be happy about this because this is not a steakhouse. This is a multi-course meal. Next course, though, is something to be happy about. It's a lobster in a crepe with truffle and caviar. We're ticking off all the boxes of the Chuggy taste blind. Now listen, lobster, truffle, caviar is quite exquisite, and I'd eat it. Third course is branzino with mushroom and asparagus puree. Maybe I'm a little closed-minded. Don't ever blitz up asparagus like that and put it at the bottom of the plate. I mean, it looks like baby shit, and it maybe it tastes good. I don't want it. I don't have any interest in it. Fucking... I'm not good with colors, but I don't like that hue.
I've seen a lot of baby excrement in my last four years.
Yeah.
The asparagus absolutely look like that.
Yeah, it looks like fucking baby feces. Mm-hmm. So Cloyce does maybe the worst magic trick of all time after just nailing the dinner. Lola screams at her friends some more, and her friends say that there's something wrong with her. And I think, well, yeah, she's a vile drunk. So... Now, we have to go clubbing. Glenn is very clear about the rules going out to the club. 2 drinks, home at 2 o'clock. If you break those rules, your tip is rescinded.
Which is, I've mentioned this from first season of Captain Glenn. Illegal. You cannot threaten to take someone's goddamn tip. They've already earned a certain amount of money, and you can't, it doesn't, whatever the word is.
All's fair in love and sea rats.
Well,
I love it.
Also, I want to, with Captain Glenn here. Captain Glenn. You allow sea rats a little too much rope, they're going to take it. Right? This is a misstep on his part.
Yeah,
and you're letting, and by the way, I thought this was a move by Daisy to get Gary fired.
Oh,
because why would she allow him, of all people, to go party that night?
Because she was having fun. She was lighting it up. She had 4 drinks.
You have Keith there.
How many drinks did you have? 2 drinks and 2 shots?
So 4 drinks.
4 drinks. Well, if you want to be a stickler. Yeah. Okay, so we hit the club, and back at the boat, there's shit in the toilet and a mutiny afoot. It's one of the funniest bits of the season is these 2 girls being completely disgusted with how they're being treated.
Mm-hmm.
It's just abhorrent to them. Gen Z, dude, what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
They're ruining the world.
They're destroying the world.
Hopefully there won't be any wars.
What was that, your Bernie?
No, that was an old guy talking about the youth.
Yeah, no, the youth are destroying the country. Not the spiritless boomers who want to hang on to every fucking cent they've ever earned in their entire life and are willing to fuck up everything on planet Earth to attain it. But that's not to say that Gen Z isn't annoying. I mean, what the fuck?
We're all annoying.
We're all annoying.
That's right.
But Daisy says it at the end of the episode. I mean, we're talking about practice? We're talking about 8 to 9 hours of sleep? You've got to be kidding me. Anyways, the drag queens want these people drinking, and Gary obliges. He gets to 10 drinks.
Those are the ones that the camera captured, by the way, with that ticker that they had there.
Thank you for saying that, because there is 0 chance he only had 10 drinks.
He pointed out the first 2, that just gets him started.
Yeah.
I know the feeling.
This guy can't get drunk. Cut to him cackling like a fucking vagrant by himself, smoking cigarettes. I mean, he was scratching at the walls drunk.
It looked like the unreleased footage of The Dark Knight with the Joker.
Yeah, it did. Or right around the corner.
Yeah, yes, the zombies.
Oh yeah, just big drums of piss everywhere and people scratching at themselves. I mean, it's disgusting. The other thing is these fucking vagrants. They start a lot of fires. I got to tell you, I'm really sick and tired.
Dylan's referring to the homeless encampments that surround my neighborhood where 2 kids live and basically 500 other children sleep at night.
And I really feel horrible for the children, and I feel horrible for really everybody. Right? It's a very sad situation.
It says everything you need to know about Los Angeles. We've literally been burned to the ground, and then when someone like me calls the city council office, which I did several times this week, and said there is a homeless encampment where they're lighting fires at night, and they say, we're going to send some police out there, and they don't. Yeah. That's all you need to know about Los
City's
Angeles.
too big. It's too big.
Yes. And this run. Run by idiots. Yes, that too.
Yeah.
Now they're getting people killed. But let's not talk about politics.
No, we don't need to talk about politics. But I mean, God, do they have a good time? I mean, think about it. I mean, they don't have a good time because it's very cold at night and there are harsh conditions and they don't have loved ones. And who wants to sleep on the floor? But I mean, you listening right now, you have signed a Faustian agreement. You've walked into this world of adulthood, right? The days of you turning your piss bottle with a little bit of gasoline into a Molotov cocktail are completely gone. You can't do it anymore. You're in polite society. Not these people.
No. That's one thing when I drive by. I live through them, you know?
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
That's what it's like to be free, you know?
Right. No, not a care in the world, just throwing rocks at people on the freeway.
And lighting fires.
Oh, look, that one crashed. They're like fucking Billy Madison, you know? Anyways, back at the boat, Glenn is talking about mites and Jupiter, but he stays up long enough to see his bosun rat fucked on booze. Now he gets back, and he tells Gary immediately go to bed.
Okay, so is Gary... Daisy had pointed out how self-destructive he is, and we've seen that with Gary. But there's something about this behavior where you've had 10 drinks, a camera crew's been following you all night. If there were still reunions on Bravo where Gary would lie to Glenn and then later have to admit when they during the reunion when they show him the ticker that he actually did have 10 drinks, the smart move here for Gary, if he was rational, would be to beeline it for his cabin and go to bed. Mm-hmm. But he does not. So self-destructive, or you think you're immune to firing?
Well, I think it's a very simple explanation. He's just drunk.
Just drunk and said, fuck it.
Yeah.
Being indignant the next day tells me there's something more to this story.
Well, he's an addict. He lashes out, and when somebody tells him to take accountability for his actions,
he doesn't want to hear it.
So Lola and Ellery fight some more. They're drinking out of these insane bottles.
Yeah, I didn't catch that.
Well, you did, but you were confused by it.
Well, yeah, because they showed it in another scene, and I didn't know what they represented.
There were like pill bottles, and it was neon green. It was really odd. If anybody knows what the fuck those were, let us know. Lola is really mean, and it's all very dramatic. And the crazy thing about this whole thing is that these are guys.
Some. Actually, some of the females hate Lola, too.
Right.
Now, I want to say there's certain interactions that kind of say it all, at least for a person in a particular time and place, that they are, in fact, a douchebag. Deanna gets up in the morning, and she's ready to do service. She walks by Lola and says, "Is there anything I can get you?"
Yeah.
And Lola said, yeah, some coffee and get me off this fucking boat. Now, I understand that that's just like a throwaway line, but if you're a service person, you're like, I just ask for the coffee.
Yeah. No, Lola's a lot.
Lola's a lot, is my point.
A lot. Now, Ellery goes and does her breathing exercises while Gary, mischievous little bastard, sneaks back up to the bow. And that's when he begins to cackle to himself, smoke cigarettes, and Glenn catches him. He's very upset. Tells him to go to sleep. Now...
Oh, I'm sorry. I had jumped to the morning.
No, it's okay. We covered all this. I mean, Daisy says that he has a very destructive personality. It's very sad. It's not a tragedy. They're sea rats. Who gives a shit? And we go to bed. The next morning is the last day of charter. We're in matching robes, and Deanna is pissed. She got 8 hours of sleep, and Danny got 9 again.
Oof. That's like complaining about having too many orgasms. 9 hours sleep. Oh, it's been... Come on. That's the third time. It's too much. Enough is enough.
I could easily complain about too many orgasms. I'm exhausted. This is too many. 5? It's too much. So, Lola does not have breakfast with the gang. Everyone hates him. Mm-hmm. He's out of drag. He's in his one piece, and he's just pissed. Now we depart, and Lola's nowhere to be seen. Detox takes over and says, fuck Lola. The food was great. We loved it. And we're giving you this sizable tip. But before we get there...
Service was fierce.
We have to get to the interior meeting. Now, Deanna looks like she got electrocuted and is pissed. The thing that makes me so sad about this is that Danny is the worm tongue here. She's riled Deanna up. And Deanna's now going to war for Danny. This is not her fight. This is Danny's fight.
And it's too late in the season for this. We're going to be fighting about break times. This is something you squabble about. Charter 2.
It's not right. It's just not right. And I feel really bad for Daisy because these two have the numbers. And, Daisy should show these two give these two a piece of her mind at the end of the season. You're not getting any.
I do a power move. I just point to one of them, just like close your eye and like whatever, and just go, "You're fucking fired." Just do that. Like that will warn future stews to come in future seasons. Like,
yeah.
She's nuts. She'll just fire people.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You're fired. I love that. Now we're at 45 minutes right now.
Oh yeah.
Do you think that means they've won, or do you think we've just been having a good time?
I've been having a great time, and I don't care what they think.
Okay, love that. Let's get to the meeting of the minds. Daffodil delivers tea to Cloyce first, and Cloyce says, maybe we can make something out of this. But Glenn sits the Sea Rats down and says, "How many drinks did you guys have?" And everyone rattles off. Well, Gary lies.
Yeah.
He says 5. Daisy says 2 shots, 2 drinks. Glenn does the math for her, and then Keith, who cares?
Chase had one.
Chase had one.
Golden Retriever had one.
Yes. Now, Glenn says, we laid out the rules. If I lay out the rules and I let you guys break the rules, there's no point in the rules. And Gary flips.
He doesn't like rules. He didn't say that, but that was the implication.
We'll see what happens next week. Get in the comments. Let us know. Do you like Gary? Get in the comments. Let us know if you like Gary.
Yeah.
5 stars, kind words. Oh, I said last week we were going to read reviews, but we've gone so long. We'll do it next week.
We'll do it next week.
We'll do it next week. Okay. Thank you for the reviews. We're going to read them next week. We love you for leaving them. Join us at patreon.com/anotherpodcast network if you want to listen to our recap of The Traders, APS, all that fun stuff. We love you guys very much. I'm Dylan saying goodbye. Pat, say goodbye.
Later, dudes.